What is going on, everybody? It's Matt Marchese, you also known as Islanders Daily. Your daily news from the four-time Stanley Cup champion, New York Islanders. We're back here with another episode today. And today, some of the Islanders spoke to some media and discussed some things, and that we're just kind of going to be going over what these guys had to say, what it means as their personality, and what it means for them as a player as well. So to start things off, Matt Barzal quickly had a very, very quick conversation, and it was a pretty simple conversation, right to the point by Matthew Barzal, and this is something he said about, just being a player and whatever. He says, I'm locked in for 6 years. I feel like points and that kind of stuff is something you worry about when you're a rookie, on your rookie contract and free agency. But for me, I care about the wins, and we're winning. And yeah, so Barzal has kind of transcended his game into something new, it sounds like, where he's not focused on winning. He's focused on winning. Let's clear that up. He's not focused on the points. He's more so focused on doing whatever he can to do to win. And he was saying in his rookie year, points were something he definitely thought about. But as he's matured and gotten older, all he cares about is winning and trying to get a Stanley Cup with the New York Islanders. And I like what he says. I know some people maybe might take it out of context saying, oh, he doesn't care about getting points. But I don't see it that way. I more so see it as he's a guy who's willing to do anything to help the team win. If it's, third assist, where you don't get a point, but he's starting to play. Rushing up, gets a good forecheck, good back check, just that kind of little things. I think that's more so what Barzal's talking about, the more important stuff on what they can do to help the team win. Obviously, goals help a team win. But for Barzal, I like what he's saying. He says, for you want to win. That's why you signed a contract. You got to help your team win. The points will come. But, it doesn't matter if you put up 140 points as a player and miss the playoffs. Well, that's essentially what he's saying. For him, it's all about winning. And that's awesome. That's awesome to have somebody who's in here talking about how, something is that he wants to just be a winner and he wants to win with the Islanders. And it's just awesome that, Barzal's kind of matured as a player, in all aspects of his game, I believe. I think he's gotten so much better defensively compared to what he was when he first started out. He's just a great player to have. He opens up the ice so much, and it gives him opportunities to score goals. And then when people are, focused on Barzal, it allows opportunities for another player to score the goals. So it's just super important to have a guy like Barzal on your team. And like he says, he's in for 6 more years. And hopefully it's a very successful 6 more years with Matt Barzal. We'll have to, of course, wait and see. But, yeah, the Islanders are playing good hockey to start it off. And that's all that matters, really. That is all that matters. And hopefully the Islanders can keep it up. We'll have to see. And, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And then next up is Cal Ritchie also talked to the media today, and this is a little piece about Max Shabanov and him, and he says, we have to tell each other a few things or multiple times the same thing because of the language barrier. And then Ritchie says the chemistry with him is forming fast, even if they have trouble understanding with each other. And yeah, you guys can see it. We can see it while watching the games. Ritchie and Shabanov clearly enjoy playing with each other. And they've been playing good hockey with each other. I think having them both on the line kind of opens up the ice for them. They're two very skilled players, and they like to play a more skilled game. And when you have those, somebody with you who likes playing the same way, it makes it a lot easier. Obviously, before, when it was Ritchie with Siplikov and Cizikas, those aren't like skilled guys with you, like people who don't do the skill work. And then you bring in Shabanov before joining on Ritchie. I mean, he was good, but he got hurt early on. And now they've kind of been able to really start forming that bond and playing the hockey they want to play. And like I said, it's just kind of funny reading it with, they said Shabanov will have something to tell Ritchie, but it takes a while because Ritchie can't understand the Russian. And then Ritchie, with Shabanov can't really understand English. Luckily, they, have Romanov there who could speak a little bit of both, or I should say he can speak both. Sorokin, I don't know how good Sorokin is with English, if I'm being honest. I feel like he's a man of few words, Ilya Sorokin. That guy, you should just never hear him talking, really. I don't hear him even talking Russian ever. He's just a quiet guy, I think, and that's good to have, too. And you can kind of tell that Sorokin's more reserved, more quiet. but I'm sure he'll help along when they need to. And yeah, and then obviously Cal Ritchie, he says, I'm not trying to get too satisfied with where I'm at. I want to continue growing, getting better, and proving myself. So this kind of came up from about where, like, if he is, how he feels about being on it and the opportunity, and does he feel like he's a mainstay on the team. And Richie's responded by saying he's not going to get satisfied. He needs to keep improving, and that's the right mentality for the young player, obviously. um, I was advocating for Cal Ritchie to come up to the Islanders long before he did. He finally got the opportunity, and I think he was starting off a little slow. He was obviously playing good, but he was starting off, getting used to the game, slow a little, and then it seems now it's really clicking for him, and he's really been playing good hockey. And it all started when, Shabanov got put on that line with him. So Richie has really started figuring out his game the way he wants to play it. And that is awesome for the Islanders going forward when you have a guy like Cal Ritchie on your team who can really, really open it up. So that's just cool. And then Stefan Rosner tweeted also saying an ironic column coming in at the AM regarding an Islanders potential target. So obviously we'll hear that, what that is in the morning. I'll talk about it on the video. We'll have to hear and wait and see who it is. I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't even really give a guess. If my best guess is maybe it's a defenseman, but I'm gonna wait to hear what that potential target is tomorrow morning. Obviously, the Islanders have a game, so it won't be a main topic. If it's somebody who is actually interesting, I'll talk about it. If it's like a whatever defenseman, I'll probably skip over it. But we'll have to wait and see, obviously, on what the column is gonna be. But yeah, that's what Stefan Rosner tweeted. So have your eyes out for that because it could be interesting. And now, obviously, we're going to preview the game against the Bruins now. Bruins are 13-11 this year. The Islanders are 13-8-2. Obviously, though, the Bruins have the Islanders' number this season. They're 2-0 in the series. They won the first game 5-2, and I think that's a game that the Islanders probably should have won, as weird as that sounds. When you lose a game 5-2, I think the Islanders actually played very good that game. It seemed like that first period they came out hot and then just kind of forgot they were playing a hockey game. And then they lost 4-3 in a shootout, the daunted shootout that I'm still amazed the Islanders were able to win one the other day. That is certainly amazing by whatever means. And then obviously the players to watch in the last 5 games, that Morgan Geekie guy has 5 goals in the last 5 games. I actually got to see his stats because he must be playing unreal, Morgan Geekie. Yeah, 24 games played for Geekie, 17 goals, 6 assists. He's been on fire to start this year, Morgan Geekie. Obviously, he had 33 goals last year. I didn't even realize that, but he's playing great hockey. Wow. That is definitely a player to watch. I know he was doing good against us in those previous 2 games he played with, but I didn't really realize how good he was playing. It's funny, his career high before the 33 was 17, and he's already at 17. So, yeah, Morgan Geekie's scoring goals. Morgan Geekie is scoring goals. So the Islanders are going to have to do a good job shutting him down. Obviously, when you got a guy like David Pastrnak as well, it allows Morgan Geekie more opportunity when you have a skilled player like Pastrnak. So the Islanders are going to have to do a good job shutting down that line. Our players, Bo Horvat, who has the most goals on our team with 2 goals in the last 5. Palmieri has 3 assists, and Palmieri has 4 points in the last 5. So he's the player to watch there. Pastrnak has 5 assists, and he also has 5 points. So Geekie and Pastrnak are tearing it up, and that's going to be a major focus for the Islanders. The scoring, for some reason, has been a little more difficult since returning home. Now, obviously, I think they got goaltendered those 2 games. Jordan Binnington played unbelievable, and Joey Deckard as well. It's a good thing we were able to win one of them. The Bruins goaltenders, obviously, are Jeremy Swayman, who's solid, and Jonas Korpisalo, who's not too solid. But hopefully the Islanders are able to actually, start getting the offense rolling again like how they had it going. And I'm not too afraid. I think they can easily, get that offense rolling here. The goalie stats for the year are, I don't know who's going to, I'm going to assume it's going to be Swayman going for the Bruins. So he's 9-6 on the year with a 2.79 goals against average and a 909 save percentage. He's having a pretty good year, Jeremy Swayman. He's doing his job. I know he had a rough year last year, I believe, so he's looking to improve on the season. Yeah, last year only an 892 save percentage for Jeremy Swayman. It was not a good year. He's definitely been improved this year. He's gone back to his old self, and yeah, so the Islanders will have to figure him out. Then Jonas Corpusalo is 4-5, 3.43, and an 8.78 goals against average. He is not that good this year. Obviously, the Islanders lost to him once this game or once this year, but you just got to focus up. You got to focus on your game. Because Binghamton was a bad goalie going into that game, and he played lights out, so it's whatever. Then obviously Ilya Sorokin will be starting for the Islanders. He was first off the ice at practice today. He's 7-6-2 on the year, 2.67 goals against average, and a 905 save percentage. And although it might not seem like that good, he was bad to start the year off, and he's really found his game, and he's already got it back to a 905 save percentage. That's great news for us Isles fans. That is great news for us Isles fans. Ilya Sorokin really seems to be finding his game back, and that's what we need. And then David Riddick, man, 6-2, 2.59 goals against average, and also 905 save percentage. Obviously, his is also a little skewed when he had that horrendous game. But yeah, he's been good too. So the Islanders have gotten solid goaltending this year, along with the solid offense, and that is really, really good for the Islanders. Obviously, Bruins have the fourth best power play. It's something to watch out for. Islanders number 32. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. Penalty kills are pretty even. So yeah, it's really just going to be, we got to see what the Islanders can do. They just got to play their game, and yeah, that's all they need to do. Well, hopefully they can do it, and yeah. So now we're going to be talking about the comments a little here, and obviously this first comment is they think that we should put Shabanov on the first power play for Palmieri. And yeah, I like that. I think that is definitely an idea to maybe start pushing. Obviously, the power play has been stagnant. They have not been scoring much whatsoever as a 32, and it's weird. I still think they've looked better than they have in many, many years. But I do think putting Shabanov on that power play unit could do wonders. I think he's a player who can really rip it. Obviously, Palmieri is too. But he's someone who's a little faster than Palmieri now, and I think what we need to see from Shabanov is him just playing the hockey. And my dog just burst into my room here, if you heard that noise. But yeah, Shabanov is somebody who we should definitely start thinking about moving on to the first power play unit. And I think you're right. Having Palmieri on the second could really open things up big time. And then this person says Barzal is the problem with the power play unit. And he can pass well, skate well, but skating in circles outside the perimeter on the power play is easy to defend. And I do see what you're saying there as well. I do see Barzal does seem to skate it around a lot. They don't really cycle the puck as good as I'd like them to cycle the puck. But I just don't think they can take Barzal off that power play because he's just too good of a player where he can open things up with his skill set. Obviously, I do think he needs to maybe dial it down on the, ballet moves on the outside perimeter. But I do think that he is somebody who you don't want to get off, the power play. Like I said, though, you feel like you can change it up. Obviously, maybe you want to throw Barzal down to that second unit for a little bit. But he's just a player who I just don't think you can really move off that unit. I think he's too good to move off the unit. But I do agree with you that he needs to stop the dancing and stuff around the perimeter and kind of just cycle the puck more, get rid of it quicker, passing. Because when he can find that pass, Barzal, it's usually right on the money. So I just don't think that, you can do it up. And then you say they need to switch up their format as well. At this point, might as well try and switch, the format up no matter what, run whatever power play you can think of, whatever one works best in practice in that morning. The Islanders should run out there. We'll have to see. And then this person says put Polak in Ovi's spot, 100-mile-per-hour shot. Problem with that is Polak as the defenseman. Obviously you can't put him on the first unit, and I don't really. You can maybe put him on that second unit with D'Angelo, as that might be a little trial thing. We'd have to want to see if the Islanders would want to do that, but that would be funny. But then another person says they need Yzerman. I think they definitely need Yzerman in the future. I think they're all right without him this year. I like to see him in, Boston University, getting those reps and try and get healthy. And yeah, that's really going to be all for today's episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Again, thank you all for the comments and everything. It's awesome. And yeah, that's going to do it. So as always, let's go Islanders.